In Fallout 3, the way you can turn your enemies into a faint memory are infinite. Guns, bombs, rolling pin, even a wooden stick with radiated shit on it. In this video, I decided I'm too good for any of that and find out, can you beat Fallout 3 with only your fist? The rules are I can only use fists for any form of combat, and since Fallout 3 doesn't have hardcore or survival difficulty, I can only use food, drinks, and sleeping to heal. Starting the run, an unknowing mother gives birth to an absolute punching machine and gave me the perfect name. For my appearance, nothing says I throw hands like a black man. That sounded a lot better in my head. For my specials, I put 10 points to strength for melee so punches can hit a little harder than wet noodles, 10 points to endurance for health, and 6 points to intelligence, agility, and luck. I lived long enough to experience my 9th birthday and saw how I looked in real life when in social gatherings from another person's perspective. I came to my first fail of the run, tried using the VAT glitch, but with my IRL intelligence being at -1, I couldn't figure out how to do it. For my tag skills, I tagged unarmed, speech, and sneak. I get woke up to being told my father left me. Would say I'm surprised, but given the history of my character's race, it checks out. After saying enough race jokes to most likely get my channel banned, I escaped the vault. Leveling up, I put an even number of points to unarmed, speech, and sneak, and a perk point into Swift Learner for more XP. I pay a little visit to Silver and let Lefty and Righty do the talking. Arriving at Megaton, I stock up on food and water for heals. I convinced Cullen to tell me where I could find my father and make my way through the subway tunnels. My first opponents were a couple of mole rats, and barely won because in case you didn't know, I'm always on the hardest difficulty, and it's no joke. Further in, I ran into a pack of feral ghouls and immediately fell back, because if I could barely handle 2 mole rats, I definitely couldn't handle them. Luckily, I got them stuck on a railing, and even better, they came at me one by one, making it infinitely easier. After taking them out, I drank my signature acid water, and then had a one-on-one with a super mutant and barely won with my life. Finally escaping the tunnels, I ran to the Brotherhood. I wish I could say I was of help, but when my fist hit like squeaky toys, I can't really do much. Eventually, we angered the super mutant behemoth. I don't know why, I thought I could go toe-to-toe with him, but he immediately humbled me. Once I noticed he began to get stun locked, I started to help take him down, but ended up taking me out instead, far more than once in fact. But eventually, the Brotherhood took down the behemoth. Talking to Three Dog, it was yet another journey into the tunnels. Me and a Securitron took out a raider, but in the middle of the fight, I realized he was ready to betray me the first chance he got. After one well-placed punch that probably broke all 5 of my fingers, the Securitron was down. I had a really close fight with the raider using a knife, but after taking care of enough raiders, I got a well-deserved bed rest to heal. And deeper in the tunnel, I eventually decided to run past the remaining enemies, finally making it inside the museum. I grabbed the radio dish, used it to repair the relay, and reported back to Three Dog. Getting distracted, I did something a little different from my usual playthroughs of Fallout 3 and helped the kid with the fire problem taking over his hometown. Searching one of the buildings, I found out the kid's father got killed fighting off the ants. I let him know, hoping to see him cry in despair. After looking to the terminal in the shack, I learned that the source of the ant problem is in a nearby subway tunnel. Exploring the tunnel, I find Dr. Lesko, and he asked me to take out the ants protecting the fire ant queen and leave the queen alive. Taking down the ants are easy, just make sure to stick towards their backside and they can't turn around fast enough to dish out paint. At one point, trying to separate the ants, I look away for a moment, and I guess it must have evolved while I wasn't looking. After removing the final guardian, it was time to take out the queen, cause something that ugly doesn't deserve to live. She was dealt with the same way as all the others, and after extinguishing her life, I reported my doings to Lesko. Using speech to justify my actions, I convinced him to give me the ant mutagen to enhance my strength and fire resistance. I also went to the super duper market to evict all the raiders living inside. While drinking some acid water, a couple of raiders got tired of waiting to die, so I gave them what they wanted and sent them to the afterlife. After taking care of the final raider, I looted a bunch of food and drinks for free healing supplies. I ran past more raiders in the, you guessed it, more goddamn tunnels. Arriving at Rivet City, I restocked up with food and drinks for heals. I met Lee, who tells me my father is in Jefferson Memorial. Taking care of the super mutants outside aren't necessarily hard, just incredibly long. I will say, I just love watching them fall over though, after enough punches. I had to take care of the super mutants outside, I drank some acid water. Once inside, it was just a bunch of long fights and going back outside to drink more acid water to heal. Eventually, I took care of the super mutants I needed to. I finally retrieved the holotapes. On my way to Vault 112 to save my father, I'm making inside the simulation, leveling up and maxing out my unarmed skill and putting remaining points into speech. I put a perk point into lead belly to take less rad damage from acid water. I activate the Chinese invasion and finally talk with my father. After going back to Jefferson Memorial to clear out the remaining super mutants, we were intervened by the Enclave, causing me to lose my father. And wouldn't you know it, another journey through a tunnel. Running past all the feral ghouls and arriving at the checkpoint, I managed to barely escape with my life. At the Citadel, we reported about the attack at Jefferson Memorial. I spoke with Rothschild, and it was a trip to a little camplight. Once there, I talked with the mayor to let me in, and while there, I bought some more food and drinks and enjoyed some high-quality acid water. I ran past the super mutants and rode her past to save as much supplies as possible, but once inside the vault, I became what they feared most: Mutant Slayer. Once I was done ripping and tearing, I stuck past some super mutants to heal up with, you already know it, acid water. While enjoying my water break, a super mutant walked in and decided to leave and pretend he never saw anything. Unfortunately for him, I don't take kindly to witnesses. We had what some people would call a top 10 anime fight, but eventually I delivered the blow that removed his head. After having one last water break, I finally retrieved the Gek. I eventually get kidnapped by the Enclave, and while in their base, I ran past the Enclave soldiers and used speech to destroy the base. Running past the final soldiers and escaping the base, I return to the Citadel and get ready to push the final fight to Jefferson Memorial. But before that, I make sure to stock up on food and drinks for heals. On our way to Jefferson Memorial, I tried to help take out the Enclave soldiers, and Liberty Prime thanked me by hitting me with a very painful flashbang that crippled my leg. I also witnessed the curse of the floating Gatling laser. It surely wouldn't be a Bethesda game with that insane bugs or glitch. Inside the Jefferson Memorial, I took out some of the soldiers while also taking water breaks. After taking out the last soldier near the entrance, it was time to take out Colonel Autumn. During the fight, I guess Lions decided she was going to join in on my challenge run and went in fist only as well with yours truly. It didn't last long though, because she eventually found a minigun and mowed down the final soldier with it. I showed my stash to show I didn't use any stim packs during the run, into the code to the purifier, and completing the game with only my fist. That'll do it for this challenge video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. If you guys have any ideas for a challenge in the future, leave them in the comments. I try to upload every week or every other week, and I hope to see you all in the next video.